Monster! Life's sweet. Eat it up. www.fruitmonster.com.
Everywhere I go in Australia, there's people drinking milk. Loving milk, raving about milk, talking about how good milk is. Same thing back in the US, right? But the idea that you need to drink milk to be a healthy person is completely a myth. And I know to a lot of people that sounds kind of crazy. But really, when you think about it, and if you do take a chance to think about it with me right now, you realize that actually it's kind of crazy that people are convinced they need milk to be healthy. Name one other animal that drinks the milk of another animal. Okay. Yeah, there's not really any, is there? Okay, maybe with the exception of some weird parasite somewhere in the jungle that I don't know about. Okay? But not any mammals. And then, yeah, what adult animal drinks milk? No, adult animals don't drink milk. Milk is for babies. Right. Okay. That's really interesting. And, you know, the other thing about milk is that most of the milk people drink, the mass-produced milk, is full of hormones because mama cows only lactate for a certain period of time to feed their baby cows. Would that be too inconvenient to have baby cows all the time just to keep the mothers producing milk? So there's artificial hormones that are introduced into the milk rearing process to make that happen and to make it more efficient and make it more productive. And you drink those hormones. You know what else? They also use antibiotics to treat cows that get over-milked, right? And even cows that are fed grains and cereals, because they're not meant to eat those. Their stomachs get ulcers, so they need antibiotics to stay alive and stick around. And, you know, it's actually really crazy. There's some articles that have come out recently that talk about how many different chemicals can be found in a standard glass of milk in the United States. I think it was on the order of 20 different types of chemicals. And what else is really interesting is that when you get outside of the heavily lobbied FDA and USDA recommendations, and you start looking into some other science, particularly from Harvard, you'll see that, well, the Harvard Medical Research School has declared that milk is not part of a healthy diet. I think I'm starting to see a trend here. The fact is that you don't need milk to be healthy, and milk actually can contribute to you not being healthy because of the nasty stuff that's in it. And also, if you notice, when you drink milk, your body produces mucus in response. Your throat and, your nose will produce a little extra of those mucousy boogers and stuff like that. And this is why people say don't drink milk if you have a cold, or people don't drink milk if they're going to go on stage and perform. Because that milk coats your throat with mucus. Well, guess what? That's an immune body response. Yeah, mucus shows up to trap pathogens and bad stuff in your body to protect you. And that's exactly what's happening. Your body's freaking out and saying, I don't like this stuff. What is going on? So, if you pay attention to a few different things about milk and even look into some modern day research, you realize it's actually not something that you should be consuming a lot of. And I understand that there's different arguments there's a very big difference between store-bought, mass-produced milk and organic raw milk, which there is. And in some cases, that might be a healthy thing to add into your diet in small quantities. But for the most part, that's not going to be true, and it's not true on the scale that we consume it today. The way we consume it today and all the things that it's in just contributes negatively to our health. I mean, think about it. A friend of mine just made a really good point the other day. Being lactose intolerant actually ends up being a really healthy thing because milk's in all the stuff that you eat that is kind of bad for you. All the desserts and creamy things and stuff that packs on weights and contributes to obesity and diabetes and even maybe possibly heart disease, depending on how much saturated fat you're drinking or eating. So, really, give milk a second thought. And I'm not here to hate on dairy farmers, and I'm not here to hate on people who drink milk. I'm just saying that there's probably a lot of reasons to rethink the amount of milk that you would take into your body, or maybe even cut it out altogether. Because actually, if you want to thrive, not just survive, that's a key element. And if you stop drinking milk, you'll probably find a lot of different things clear up out of your body, different problems. I know people who have cleared up their acne problems by ending drinking milk. I personally had sinus infections a lot when I was younger, and even in my teenage years. Once I stopped drinking milk, haven't had one since. It's pretty interesting stuff out there. Maybe you should give it a shot if you've been thinking about it lately. Or, if you're skeptical, go Google around and see what really is out there, because it might surprise you. Anyway, those are just some Fruit Monster thoughts on milk. See you later.
Fruit Monster.